Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Phoenix Raceway. Tonight, the Carolina Simworks TNT Series will take on Phoenix Raceway. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here this evening. Qualifications are underway. Going to be a doubleheader of racing action here tonight. Two 25-minute feature events. A full field invert is coming at the conclusion of feature race number one. So you win the first one, you're going to start shotgun on the field in race number two. Sounds like track position will be absolutely critical here this evening. And we are looking forward to a fantastic night of racing. Jason Owens just wrapping up lap number one. See what he's going to be able to do here for lap number two as he makes his way down the back straightaway. Owens goes quick time, 25.3 seconds, 25:30. The quick time for Jason Owens. Here's Simon Fell out on the racetrack. Cullen Johnston, Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley, James Watson, your top five. Going to be a 13-car entry list here this evening. Lap number one in the books for Simon Fell, 25.91 seconds, about 0.6 of a second off the quick time set by Jason Owens. See what he'll do here on lap number two. Fell going to move up to the 8th position, 25.66 seconds. 25:66 the time for Simon Fell. Getting ready for qualifications to wrap up here in just a few seconds, and then we'll get ready to get out here for feature race number one. See if we can sneak a quick word in here with Jason Owens, your quick timer here this evening. And Jason, that 87 machine looked pretty darn quick out there in qualifications. Going to put you on the pole for race one, but sounds like we're going to have a ton of action out here tonight. These cars may be a bit of a handful.
Yeah, they may be a bit of a handful, and I don't know if you got to show the viewers the top 5 or 6 in pre-race practice, but we were separated by thousandths. So it's going to be a super tight race. It's going to be really close. So we're going to have a lot of fun out there tonight.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it in a pretty big way here. So thank you very much for checking in with us. We'll let you get your setup swapped over. We'll remind you to do that here so the guys can't totally bust your chops for screwing that one up. And, well, he's done it before. We'll hopefully try to prevent him doing it again. Let's get you the starting grid here for feature race number one. Or at least we're trying to get you the starting grid for feature race number one. There you go. Jason Owens, Cullen Johnston will make up the front row. Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley on row number 2. James Watson and Corey Cleary will occupy the third row here this evening. Row number 4 will have Bill Walker and Simon Fell. Dan Smith, Mike Osler in row number 5. Row 6, Ben Carswell and Rick Cleary. And starting all alone back there in row number 7 will be the number 5 of Mac Galida. Phoenix Raceway just over 1 mile in length. We are going to get ready to go green flag racing here for heat race number 1. Again, 25 minutes the distance. If they get a caution flag within the first handful of laps or so, then they'll be good to go, or possibly good to go the rest of the way. Green flag's out. We're underway. Jason Owens up to the outside off of turn number 1. He's going to have Wes Shire down to his inside. Outside lane going to be the preferred line thus far here, but we'll see whether that holds true as we get later on into this race. Jason Owens holds on to the race lead. Cullen Johnson second. Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley, James Watson, your top 5. Pick up this battle for the second position. Wes Shire looking down to the inside of Cullen Johnson as they make their way into turn number 3. Shire going to be right there. Kevin Smalley. Oh, contact. Big contact back of the pack. Huge crash towards the back of the field. Looks like Corey Cleary, Bill Walker, also Rick Cleary may be involved in this one. Take a look here, see if we can see what happened to Bill Walker possibly. Oh, yeah, going around. Couple of cars making contact hard into the outside wall. Started out as a little bit of a self-spin for the 4 of Corey Cleary. Get you another look here. Keep your eye on that number 4 machine up to the outside. Just a little bit too much throttle. The Texaco Haviland machine goes around. That will bring out the caution flag, and that's the first caution flag that some of these drivers were talking about needing. Looks like maybe an interesting bit of strategy play here as we see Simon Fell, Rick Cleary making their way down pit road. With the top off in fuel, Simon may be able to make it the full distance here in this one. At the front of the field, going to be all Jason Owens, and this is a closed dogleg version of Phoenix. All that pretty asphalt down there could have been available to use. However, this is the closed dogleg version, so everybody has to stay above the cones at the midway point of the dogleg down the back straightaway. Looks like the lights are out on the iRacing safety car, so we're going to be getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment. Four minutes and 20 seconds down here in feature race number 1. Pace car is in. Jason Owens gets a fantastic restart. Going to be a battle for a second, though. Cullen Johnston leaving room to the outside. That's going to let Wes Shire take advantage into turn number 1. That was the quick way around last time through, but Johnston able to hold off the Homestead Coffee Roasters, number 16. Kevin Smalley, James Watson going to be in there in the fight as well. Jason Owens loves seeing this in his rearview mirrors. Pace laps at 140 or so mile an hour. Get you the onboard look here with James Watson. You can hear the car really starting to push pretty bad there in dirty air. That is going to be a constant fight that these drivers have to deal with all race long. Ben Carswell coming up on the back of the 39 machine. He wants to fight for the 5th position. Wes Shire able to clear Cullen Johnston. Now Kevin Smalley trying to make the move. Smalley down to the inside through turns 1 and 2. Now here's James Watson. He's going to look even deeper inside into 3 and 4. He got that car almost down on the apron. That'll upset you the other direction and make the car want to spin. Watson's just going to have to stay back in line here. He does. Oh, and Cullen Johnston's going to go around. Big contact with Ben Carswell. Caution flag number 2 is out. You could kind of see that incident developing here. Cullen Johnston loops it around in turn number 1. Got it up on the outside, and that was the slowest spin I have ever seen in one of these cars. And unfortunately, absolutely nowhere to go for Ben Carswell. Get you a look here from Ben's onboard. See what he saw into turn 1. You could hear him try to get on the binders, but unfortunately nothing there. And Ben Carswell is going to have to take the tow back into the pit area. But that should make everybody good to go. So the strategy play that Simon Fell had attempted could theoretically go out the window, although we're going to see James Watson come down the pit lane, as is Simon Fell and Rick Cleary. Simon Fell going to be down and away and beating James Watson off of pit road. See, we can't get a quick word here with James. And James, wondering if this is a little bit of a strategy call. The numbers we had heard pre-race were 1 caution was maybe 2 laps. Definitely you should be able to make the end. Is this more about a handling change, or are you kind of guaranteeing yourself on fuel?
Yeah, a little bit of that. I really didn't know any of the projected numbers, so I guess that might have been a mistake. But I'm having a whole lot of issues right now. My sound cut out. Discord kept cutting out. I'm talking to you in this interview on my iPad that is sitting in my lap because barely anything on my computer is working right now.
We're having issues on our end too, so there may be a network issue of some sort going on here. But all right, bud, good luck the rest of the way here. And at worst, you're going to be in a decent spot to start race number 2.
Yep. So here's hoping.
There you go. There's James Watson. Well, now it looks like he may be having bigger issues than that even. So we're going to go at least one more lap here under the caution flag. 9 minutes, 27 seconds and counting here into the race. Looks like the lights are out, though, so we're going to go back to green flag racing here this next time by. Big week of racing here for the TNT series. Tonight we have the doubleheader from Phoenix, and coming up next week, this weekend on Saturday, from 12 to 3 p.m., it is Briss Mons, an endurance race that we'll tell you more about here as the night goes on. But pace car is getting ready to come off, and we are rapidly approaching the halfway point here in race number 1. Jason Owens going to lead the field down once again. He got a pretty good restart, but Wes Shire just as quick on the loud pedal. Kevin Smalley runs third. Mike Gosler up to the 4th position. He's up 6 spots from the drop of the green flag. Matt Galida runs in the 5th position. He's up 8 from where they started. Cullen Johnston just making his way back onto the racetrack. Owens able to hold on to the top spot. Here's James Watson looking inside of Simon Fell. They're both going to come around. I believe that was the 95 of Daniel Smith. So Watson back up to the 7th position, and if you take the tires under the yellow flag here, it may not be the worst call. Get yourself a little bit more grip here. Still got half a race to go. We'll follow James Watson as he moves forward. Matt Galida down to the inside as Corey Cleary is going to come around him on the outside of the racetrack. Cleary involved in that early race incident. He's able to get some repair work done on that machine, and Corey Cleary having a good run so far. James Watson catching both of those cars and bringing Simon Fell along in tow. Watson going to be coming around the lap car of Bill Walker. The lead down to 0.2 of a second for Jason Owens. Over Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley runs in the 3rd position. He's got a great view of that battle as cross flags are up. We will be halfway home here at the conclusion of this lap. Wes Shire has the best lap time of the race at a 25.325 second lap. Last lap time about 0.2 slower than Jason Owens, and we're seeing how important clean air is at the front of the field. Kevin Smalley just went fastest lap of the race there. getting the nice big fat toe that comes off of these PM-18s. They do put a big disturbance in the air. Looks like it's going to be right about 26 laps or so remaining here in this one. And the numbers that we were hearing was you could go approximately 48 to 49 laps on a full tank of fuel. Drivers have run 23, and there's now down to about 25 laps to go. So you're kind of right in that window of you can make it to the end, but it's going to be very, very tight, I think, for some of these cars. Obviously, the big fuel saving that you do under caution should get you the rest of the way there. Good battle just back in the pack here between Corey Cleary and Mike Gosler. Gosler in the Atlas Van Lines special up on the outside of the racetrack. Cleary comes around with ease. James Watson about 1 1/3 seconds behind this battle that wages down the back straightaway. Your top three are getting tighter as we go here as well. This may be a matter of West Shire kind of sitting back there and plotting when you make the move. Do you let Jason Owens try to make a mistake on his own? Once again, Kevin Smalley goes new quick lap of the race, 25.283 seconds. Down inside of 10 minutes remaining now here in race number 1. Front of the starting grid starting to take shape for race number 2. As it stands right now, Cullen Johnston and Ben Carswell will line up on the front row. Bill Walker and Dan Smith will occupy row number 2 as Jason Owens turning up the wick here a little bit. 25.277 seconds was the quick lap time as we're now down inside of 9 minutes remaining in race 1. Owens up to the outside in 3 and 4. That may have been the mistake that West Shire needed here. There's the time deltas. I mean, between Owens and Shire, there is not much in this battle whatsoever. Anywhere from 0.2 to 2.5 is where the numbers are laying out right now. Our math says these cars are going to be at least 0.2 of a gallon to the good. Staying with this lead battle for the time being. We'll show you the gaps up here. No real action going on outside of the top 3 either. This fight for the race lead is the best battle on the racetrack. James Watson, Simon Fell currently battling about 1/4 of a second apart or so. 1/3 of a second between Corey Cleary and Mike Gosler. One that'll be interesting to watch here as this race goes on is if James Watson's able to catch up to Mike Gosler. And the reason I say that is when you look at where he is on the racetrack, if you're within about 1 second, 3/4 of a second to 1 second, you're really going to start to get the toe from the car ahead of you. So a top 4 finish isn't out of the realm of possibility here for James Watson. This battle at the front has been good. Potentially a little bit of tire saving. Save the equipment. Make sure you're ready to go here for the late race run because we're inside of 6.5 minutes remaining. Jason Owens has led every lap of this race. Takes a little bit wider of an entry into turns 3 and 4. Never really gets to the bottom of the racetrack. Go on board with Kevin Smalley as he watches the fight just ahead of him on the racetrack. Owens once again way up on the outside wall. Kevin Smalley down to the inside of Wes Shire. He gets the pass completed while we're in the onboard. Give you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay of this one. Smalley getting a great run off of 4 and down the front straightaway. Dives down to the inside. Shire slides up the racetrack, and that was about all Kevin Smalley needed to get the pass completed here. So we'll go back to the live look. Coming around the lap, traffic down and out inside of 4 minutes remaining. Jason Owens going to have to hold off a hard-charging Kevin Smalley. Wes Shire holding on to that third spot. Smalley really able to make up a bunch of ground on corner entry. Owens gets the great drive off the corner, however. We'll see how this one's going to shape out here. And again, this is a full field inversion, so the strategy called by James Watson may not pay off much here because he's going to restart he's going to finish mid-pack and have to restart mid-pack. What's going to be interesting here is that some of these cars that'll be at the front of the field for race 2 are pretty significantly slower than what we're seeing in terms of best lap times, up to about a half second slower than what we're seeing Jason Owens, Kevin Smalley, and Wes Shire running in the race here. Approaching the 23-minute mark here as they work their way down the back straightaway. Jason Owens has led every lap. Kevin Smalley holding right there after the nice pass on Wes Shire. A handful of laps to go. Pick up James Watson here. He got the draft. He's inside of Mike Gosler, going to pick up the 5th position. Now looking inside of Corey Cleary for 4th. Going to be well back of the race leaders here. In fact, about 7.5 seconds back of where the race leaders are on the racetrack. But here's Watson looking down to the inside. At the front of the field, Jason Owens goes personal best lap time last time by. Half a tenth slower than Wes Shire's fast lap time of the race at a 25.142. Big chop move there by Watson. He's up to fourth. Good battle there, and we're going to be down to about 3 or so laps to go here in race number 1. Inside of 60 seconds remaining, and they're turning laps at about 25 seconds. Crossing the line with 39 seconds remaining, so this should be 2 to go. Smalley bobbing and weaving off the turn number 2. Going to be a good fight to the finish here in race 1 for the Carolina Simworks TNT Series. Owens up high. He opens the door for Smalley down low. Who does Wes Shire go with? He stays right in line with Jason Owens. Offers no help. We'll see if Smalley's going to have anything to go here. Now Shire looks to the outside of Smalley down the back straightaway. There's 25 minutes is expired. This is the last lap of race number 1 off of turn number 4. Jason Owens going to claim the win. Who's going to get second at the line? Drag race, give it to Kevin Smalley. Fantastic finish to race number 1 for the Carolina Simworks TNT Series. Jason Owens, Kevin Smalley, Wes Shire, your top 3 podium finishers. James Watson and Corey Cleary will round out the top 5. Get you the results here. It's going to say heat race number 1, but in reality, it's actually feature race number 1. How about 1/100th of a second separating Kevin Smalley from Wes Shire? James Watson, Corey Cleary, your top 5. Mike Gosler, Simon Fell, Matt Galida, all finishing on the lead lap back through the 8th position. 9th, Rick Cleary. 10th, Dan Smith. Bill Walker, Ben Carswell, and Cullen Johnston will round out the field here this evening. And see if we can get a quick word with our podium finishers from that one. Don't see Kevin Smalley available to talk to here, but first we'll bring in Wes Shire here, your 3rd place finisher in feature race number 1. And I tell you what, Wes, that was a pretty spectacular finish there to race 1.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I really thought I was going to get him using the draft from Jason there out of 4, but nope. Missed it by 100th of a second.
Yeah, a great finish, and unfortunately for you here, it's going to absolutely bury you deep in the field. You'll restart, I guess, 3rd to last here inside of the final row. What's the strategy, thought, plan here for race number 2?
Don't get caught up in the ensuing chaos this time.
Yes, avoid the death in turn 1 and watch the race play out from there is what it sounds like.
Pretty much, yeah. Just avoid the impending disaster and hopefully stay ahead of Kevin this time.
Oh, there you go. There's Wes Shire, your 3rd place finisher in race 1. We'll pick up Kevin Smalley here. And Kevin, a fantastic duel with both Jason and Wes throughout that race. It looked like it was fun. What was it like from the driver's seat?
Yeah, I think I know I turned on the heat a little bit later than I would have wanted to. I wish we would have had about 10 laps at the end like we had instead of 2 at the end. That was really fun for 2 laps.
Yeah, that was, you guys were dueling for position and everything else here. So what's the strategy now, thought process-wise anyway, in terms of how you're going to run race number 2, having to come from the back?
So I got to call my shot, right? So the goal here is to have only 1 caution, because I think that leaves everybody short on fuel, but I've got maybe some tricks up my sleeve there.
There you go. Okay, so maybe a little bit of state secret spilling here, but we'll take it. Thank you very much, Kevin. Congratulations on the runner-up finish there in race number 1. And let's get your race winner in here, Jason Owens. And Jason, congratulations on the win there in race number 1. It was a heck of a show you guys put on out there. What are you thinking at this point now?
I'm terrified. I'm starting last. Happy to be here, right? Like, you know, there's a reason I'm starting last, so it's a good problem to have. But it's going to be interesting trying to tiptoe up through the field. Really appreciate Kevin and Wes there. I think we had some really good close racing. I was trying to put dirty air on them, and that white flag came out, and I don't know if you could see it on the broadcast. I absolutely sent it into one. I wasn't going to give him any space.
Yeah, that was kind of the fun thing to watch, was who was going to make the move, when, and how. And Kevin said he wished the last 10 laps had run like the last 2. Are you going to give him a shot at that here in the second race?
It depends on cautions, right? So, like, I was turning it off and saving fuel under those first 2 cautions so that I could run full out to the end and finish with like 3 liters in the tank. So we were good on fuel. And I kind of hope that we go full green flag run and have the pit stop strategy come into it.
That's exactly what Kevin Smalley just had to say to us in the interview as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Congratulations on the win here in race 1. And who do you want to thank here before we get off to race number 2?
Obviously, Carolina SimWorks sponsoring us here in season 2 of TNT. Yourself and National Racing Network, you've been a great broadcast partner, and just want everybody to stay tuned. We got some fantastic plans coming out for Tuesday Night Thunder that involve more than just this car coming up, and we're going to reset and align with the iRacing calendar here in season 4 coming up. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, that one's going to be a ton of fun. We may have to do a live show to talk that one over a little bit. But congratulations again on the win here in race 1. Good luck in race 2. And that is your race 1 winner, Jason Owens. Their warm-up session for race number 2 is just about to be concluded here, and the cars will head to the grid. And this one is going to be spectacular because this is a full field invert from race number 1's finishing order. What that means is we're going to put Cullen Johnston and Ben Carswell on the front row. Bill Walker and Dan Smith will make up row number 2 for this one. Rick Cleary and Matt Galida on row number 3. Row 4 will have Simon Fell and Mike Gosler. Corey Cleary, James Watson in row 5. Row 6 will have your second and third place finishers from race number 1, Wes Shire and Kevin Smalley. Jason Owens going to round out the field here, starting shotgun 13th on the grid for race number 2 here this evening. So field's going to roll off and make their way down the backstretch, and track's 1 mile in length and longer. It is a single warm-up lap, which means we're going to be coming around to green flag racing here in just a moment here. Once again, 25 laps, or 25 minutes the distance, I should say. But this one's going to be exciting. You're going to have to watch this one from multiple views, multiple angles, and everywhere else here. Give you the shot from high overhead as the green flag goes in the air. We are underway here in race number 2. Rick Cleary drops it way down to the inside. James Watson going to be very aggressive on the outside of the racetrack. Oh, Matt Galida up into the outside fence. Jason Owens has to really back down to avoid that car. That is not what he wanted to see. We stay under green flag racing. Wes Shire, Kevin Smalley dueling side by side back here in the 9th position. Side by side further up ahead as well between Dan Smith and Simon Fell. Cullen Johnston holds on to the race lead through turn number 1. Ben Carswell, Bill Walker runs 2nd and 3rd. This good battle, top 5 in fact, all going to be nose to tail. Dan Smith to the outside. Corey Cleary just back behind him. James Watson already up 3 spots. He runs 7th. Kevin Smalley closing in quickly as well. You're now sort of in a mode here for Jason Owens where this race absolutely has to go green, or He needs the early caution. And it's kind of an either or in this deal because he is now sitting 3 3/4 seconds back of the race leader. As James Watson looks to the inside of Dan Smith into turn number 1. Side by side just ahead of them as well. This is the fight for the second, third, and fourth position. Ben Carswell, that purple and white car, side by side. Bill Walker and Simon Fell in 3. Corey Cleary thought about making that 3 wide and shooting that gap up the middle. He's going to poke his nose out there again. Caution flag is out. Trouble on the racetrack. Matt Galida having an early issue here. Get you the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. Bounced it off the wall once. Trying to get that car back around to pit lane, but it will not run in a straight line, and Matt Galida has to take the toe in. So here's a little bit of the caution flag that some of these drivers might have been hoping for. The thought process, at least amongst some of the drivers, has been one caution makes it very, very iffy if you can make it on fuel. Let's get you the onboard here with Jason Owens. Listen to this car. He's absolutely shut off. Well, we say that, and he's going to come down pit road. So Jason Owens will be topping off the fuel tank, as is Corey Cleary and Rick Cleary. Running at the back of the field, really no incentive to not make that move. Cullen Johnston doing a good job right on the initial start of the race, getting out to an early lead. That Labatt Blue, number 93. Pacing the field here as we work under caution flag number 1 in feature race number 2. Ben Carswell runs in the second position. The number 48 Delicate Creations entry. Simon Fell running in the third position. We see Simon a bunch in the Indy Pro 2000 official races that you'll get to see coming up here this Thursday night following our coverage of the Grid Rival Ezra IndyCar Series. Simon up 4 spots from the drop of the green here in race number 2. Bill Walker just back behind them, a very shadow-esque paint scheme on that number 19 machine. If you may be old enough to remember the Shadow F1 team. James Watson's had a fantastic run thus far. He's up 5 spots to run in the 5th position. ZAS Designs National Racing Network on the side of that number 39 machine. And just back behind him, down 2 from where he started this race, is the 95 of Dan Smith. Kevin Smalley, your runner-up in race number 1, up 5 spots, runs in the 7th position. And he's brought Wes Shire, the number 16 Homestead Coffee Roasters, PM-18, along for the ride here as they've come up through the field. Shire up 3 spots from where this race started. Mike Gosler, the Atlas Van Lines special, runs in the 9th position. Corey Cleary, Jason Owens, and Rick Cleary will round out the field here. Now, not counting for caution laps and some of the trickery that these drivers can use to conserve fuel. They can run the car in 6th gear. They can shut the car off, in fact, down the straightaways and at multiple points over the racetrack. But the number we're seeing is they are currently short by about 0.8 of a gallon. Plenty of time to save that much fuel, but seeing one of our producers, Connor Baldwin, checking in saying, Watts spin yet? No, we have not seen one of those. Chad Irvine checking in on Twitch saying, how many Bizzles and do we have a Bizzle counter? A lot of Bizzles. There in race number 1. We should probably do that. We should work on some kind of a Bizzle counter. Patrick, if you're watching, get on that one, brother. We have to find something here to figure out how to write the Bizzle counter. Anyway, back to green flag racing. Cullen Johnston again gets a fantastic restart. James Watson going to peek his nose down to the inside of Bill Walker as they get to turn number 1. Oh, and Walker's going to spin. We go under the caution flag once again. That is caution flag number 2. And that may be enough for everybody to make it here on fuel. We were told to anticipate what is called a quickie yellow, meaning basically race control may shorten the number of laps they run under the caution flag as everybody is on the lead lap. Matt Galida is pit side with damage. Let's get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay here. Show you what happened to Bill Walker as they got down to turn number 1. Keep your eye on that black car to the outside of James Watson. Just started to push a little bit, overcorrects, and that's all she wrote. No harm, no foul to anybody out there on the racetrack. Walker's able to tag in at the back of the field. May see him come down pit road. Put 4 fresh Cooper tires on that race car, but gave you the full field rundown the last time by here, so taking a look at some of the data points from the race here. Wes Shire has the fastest lap of the race at a 25.304 second lap. Just ahead of him, Kevin Smalley is less than a tenth slower. Bill Walker does come down pit road. We'll see what the damage report looks like on Walker's cars. He is still making his way in to his pit box. "12 laps are in the books right now. We are anticipating another 38 or so laps to go here. If you're just tuning in here, we'll get you the results from heat race number 1 or feature race number 1. Jason Owens by a third of a second over Kevin Smalley, Wes Shire, James Watson, and Corey Cleary. That's set up the inverse grid that we have here for race number 2. And it's put Cullen Johnston and Ben Carswell out front, and they've done a nice job of holding on to those positions thus far in the race. Amongst the top 3 finishers, Jason Owens has gained 3 positions to run in 10th. Wes Shire is up 4 to the 7th position. Kevin Smalley up 6 to the 6th position. James Watson, Simon Fell also making their way forward through the field. Watson will restart 4th, Fell in the 3rd position. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, and we're already approaching the halfway point here. You are absolutely going to have to get a move on if you're James Watson, Kevin Smalley, Wes Shire, and especially Jason Owens. Green flag back out. Ben Carswell able to hold in line Big block by Simon Fell on James Watson down the front straightaway. Watson going to look down to the inside through the dog leg. Battle for the race lead as well. Ben Carswell going to look to the outside of race leader Cullen Johnston. Has to fall back in line. James Watson comes around Simon Fell. Here's Fell crossing back under to the inside down the front straightaway. Both of these cars making up pretty quick ground on Ben Carswell for the second position. Fell got it down onto the apron. He almost lost control of that car. Slides way up the racetrack. Opens the door for Kevin Smalley. Here's James Watson looking outside of Ben Carswell down the front stretch for second. 5 cars all battling for the second position. Wes Shire, the 5th of those cars in line. He's going to look way to the outside. Huge block by Carswell. He's trying to block Watson and Simon Fell 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Big drive off the corner by James Watson. He's going to go 2 for 1. Move James Watson up to second. Carswell able to hold on to the position. Wes Shire trying to follow that group around. On the outside of the racetrack, Kevin Smalley trapped down to the inside. Shire comes around Simon Fell for the 4th position. Potentially here, cue the Jaws theme. We saw Jason Owens back in that line of race cars. Shire down to the inside of Carswell, down the front straightaway. They'll drag race to turn number 1. Kevin Smalley going to tuck in line behind the 16. Mike Gosler, Simon Fell just back behind this battle. Carswell really chops off the front of Kevin Smalley in turn 3. Shire able to come around cleanly. Carswell going to dump back to the inside into 1. This side-by-side fight is fantastic, but we got to get you the overhead shot here because this battle is even deeper than what it looks like here. Jason Owens has caught back in on Kevin Smalley. Going to lose a little bit of ground here as Ben Carswell comes back around Wes Shire off at turn number 4. Simon Fell trying to use that inside lane to his advantage now to come around Shire's number 16. Just past the halfway point, racing back in the pack is absolutely fantastic. The lead right about 2 seconds for Cullen Johnston over James Watson. Shire going to look back to the inside. Once again, these guys are doing pace laps at 140 mile an hour. Side by side. Oh, contact! Smalley goes around. Jason Owens is involved. Big wreck. Turn 3. Huge hits there. We are under the caution flag for the 3rd time in this race. Get you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. Keep your eye on Kevin Smalley and Simon Fell. Man, that was incredibly tight. Huge hit for Jason Owens. We may have to see that one from a little bit different angle here. Big contact on corner entry. Trying to see if there was any actual contact there. Man, that was so tight. That may have been a netcode issue, unfortunately. Get you overlook here from the NRN drone. Yeah, that looked like big-time netcode there. And that is a heartbreaker because that's going to knock Jason Owens, Simon Fell, and Kevin Smalley out of this race. Go on board here with Jason Owens. Take a look and see what he saw. gyro cam showing you how violently that car pitched up in the air, and that changes the complexion of this race in its entirety. See if we can get a word here with Kevin Smalley out of the Infield Care Center. And Kevin, it looked like it may have been netcode, it may have been contact, but ultimately what happened out there?
Trying to figure it out, frankly. I didn't give Simon too much more than one lane, but I thought I gave him the full lane down there, and didn't look like he was on the yellow line. And the previous laps I had followed him, he was actually all the way over the yellow line. Maybe he had thought better of it after doing that once or twice. But yeah, we had a couple really awkward laps there. I got a 0x contact on lap 20. So we'll see. Actually, I think it's telling me to go. Hold on, I might need to. Yeah, what do you know? Guess my damage wasn't all that bad.
I say there you go. So we'll let you get back to piloting your race car then. Kevin Smalley going to work his way back out onto the racetrack, and see, we can also get a quick word in here with Jason Owens as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. And unfortunately, Jason, looks like kind of wrong place, wrong time as the contact happened right in front of you.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time, wrong net code apparently too. I was just taking a look back at it. At least at my end, it was net code between Kevin and Simon, and then I thought I was clear of Kevin, and I got net coded by Kevin. I don't think I was going to get by Simon, but I thought I had a chance.
Yeah,
so.
it looked like a whole burning pile of net code there, quite frankly, is what it was. But tough break, unfortunately, for you. You still got the win in race number 1 and a season finale coming up next week.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
And there you go. There's Jason Owens as we get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here. Cullen Johnston will be your race leader over James Watson as we hit 18 and a half minutes complete. Johnston gets the good restart. Watson going to be about 3 car lengths back as they hit into turn number 1. And like we said, this race complexion has changed entirely. Wes Shire is leading the point standings heading into tonight, and he's going to get a fantastic points haul out of this one. As finished 3rd in race number 1, currently 3rd in race number 2, and with plenty of time to go after the leaders as they fought side by side into one. Johnston slides up the racetrack. That forces James Watson even higher. Wes Shire closes that gap down in a hurry. Now it's a 3-car battle for the win. James Watson continues to look outside of Cullen Johnston through 3 and 4. Shire going to tuck back in behind the 39 machine. It's going to give Watson at least a little bit of drafting help down the straightaway. Cullen Johnston dips it down beneath the apron, tries to take the shortest line possible, but we got a new race leader, James Watson, into turn number 3. We'll see if he's going to be able to check out here, but now Wes Shire going to have to go to work and try to get around Cullen Johnston as we are down inside of 5 minutes remaining. Good fight back here as well between Mike Gosler, Corey Cleary, and Bill Walker. And at the rate this race is going, this may be a battle for a podium position. Shire looks down to the inside of Cullen Johnston into turn number 1. Johnston goes way up to the outside, leaves plenty of room for Shire. He completes the pass. Now he's going to go after James Watson. After that incident, Kevin Smalley and Simon Fell both back on the racetrack. Jason Owens just now getting into his pit box. We'll see how long the repair bill is going to be. Westshire pretty rapidly catching in on James Watson for the race lead. Call the gap 2.5 car lengths as they come down the back straightaway. Great toe down the straight. Shire carries a ton of speed into 3. Going to tuck back, cross under down the front straightaway. Westshire looking for the race lead as they head for turn number 1. We mentioned the points lead for Westshire. Sitting 60 points ahead of Kevin Smalley. That gap will only increase here with the issues that Smalley has had in race number 2. James Curtis not in the race this evening, currently sitting 3rd in points. Jason Owens, James Watson rounding out the top 5. Oh, man, Watson all over the rear wing of Shire. Cullen Johnston almost put it in the fence off of turn number 4. Fantastic duel at the front of the field. Inside of 2.5 minutes to go. Our lap counter says it'll be 6 to go this next time by the flag stand. Not a lot of time for James Watson to get the move made if he's even able to catch back up to Westshire. That Homestead Coffee Roasters entry has been absolutely incredible here this evening. Working on his 2nd podium finish of the night. Let's give a shout to Cullen Johnston here. Had a very good run here in race number 2 following the early issue he had in race 1. Used the pole position to his benefit and has been able to hold on to a podium position. 3-way fight here. Mike Gosler, Bill Walker, Kevin Smalley down to the inside of those two. He's just fighting to get a lap back. Now 4 to go here, and James Watson all over Westshire. Sends it big time through the dog leg. Watson down to the inside, dips a couple of tires onto the apron. He's going to try the soft slider in 3 and 4, and he gets it done. Shire has to take evasive action down the front stretch. If Westshire led that lap, it wasn't by much. Now inside of 45 seconds to go. Should be 2 laps to go this next time by. Watson looks inside, looks outside. 2 to go here at Phoenix in race number 2. Westshire, James Watson continue to battle for the lead up front. Off of turn number 4. 4 seconds remained on the clock. This will be the final lap of the race. White flag is out. 1 to go here at Phoenix. Shire holds the inside through the dog leg. He is going to run the absolute tightest line possible down to the inside, force James Watson around on the outside, and it's not going to happen. Off of turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Westshire claims the win in race number 2 here at Phoenix and will claim the overall win for the night with a 3rd and a 1st place finish. James Watson comes home 2nd, Cullen Johnston 3rd. Good runs as well for Corey Cleary and Bill Walker, who will round out your top 5. Time to make the donuts for Westshire. Here are your results from tonight's feature race number 2. Wes Shire by about a quarter of a second over James Watson. Cullen Johnston, Corey Cleary, Bill Walker round out the top 5. 6 through 10, Mike Gosler, Ben Carswell, the final 2 cars on the lead lap, followed by Kevin Smalley, Simon Fell, and Rick Cleary. Jason Owens finishing 15 laps down in the 11th position. 12th goes to Dan Smith. Matt Galida will come home in the 13th position. So we'll get our victory lane interviews set up here for race number 2. And that one looked like it was a ton of fun. Kick things off here with our 3rd place finisher this evening, Cullen Johnston. And tell you what, Cullen, you had a very good run early on in this race, and then you had about the best of you in the house for the show that went on in front of you at the end.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun. Just wish I could have kept the clean air. I think I would have won that race if that had happened, but Wes and James got by me there on that restart. So.
That was a recurring theme that we heard a lot, even from the guys who were up front in race number 1. It was the clean air was absolutely king tonight. I would imagine those cautions were about as frustrating as it could get after the issue you had in race 1.
Yeah, especially when I had at least a couple second lead there at one point when the one caution came out. That kind of hurt a little bit.
All in all, not a terrible night for you. You get a podium out of the deal and some momentum as we head into the season finale next week. So congratulations on that one. And who do you want to thank?
I want to thank you guys up at NRN for the broadcast, everybody over at TNT and everything they do, and TWR for allowing me to run with them.
Well, congratulations, bud, on the finish there. That was an absolutely fantastic show you guys put on there tonight. We'll pick up our runner-up finisher here this evening, James Watson, and you got to win already this season here in the TNT Series. Now you have another podium to go with it. A lot of momentum developing for that 39 machine late in the season.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a bit of a last-ditch effort to try to steal top 3 in points. Obviously, from what I'm hearing, Wes clinched the title already, which I'm happy for him. Good on him. Him and Jason were the class of the field all season, so I'm hoping to try to steal 3rd, and maybe tonight certainly helps, but damn, man, I was so close to that win.
That was a hell of a show you put on with Wes late in that race, and quite frankly, you and Wes put on a show getting through the field in general, having to come from the back of the pack. It was a pretty darn spectacular show out there. How was the car? Because it looked like you could go almost anywhere with it.
Yeah, it was good, but unfortunately, with right when I needed it to be, it just was getting a little tight in 1 and 2, and that was really, because I was money in 3 and 4, but I was just getting tight that last little bit in 1 and 2, and it was messing up my run into 3 and 4. And if I was able to nail it just a little bit better, I might have been able to get him back.
Well, great run for you tonight here, and a lot of momentum as we head into the season finale next week at Gateway. So congratulations on the run here, and who do you want to thank?
I got to thank ZAS Designs for putting up with all my scheme demands. I got to thank you and NRN. I got to thank my new sponsor for coming up on board. I can finally thank him since I've been having crap luck ever since he came on, and I haven't been able to shout him out. But my friend Gary DeMoss and his landscaping company MTWR came on board, and if you want to move the moss, you better call DeMoss, Gary DeMoss at Mr. Toad's Wild Ride Landscaping. He's the guy to call.
That is fantastic. I can't believe you actually just did a commercial in your Victory Lane interview. Well done, Mr. Watson. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. And let's get the man of the hour in the booth here. not only does he pick up a win in feature race number 2, but we're fairly certain that clinches a Carolina SimWorks TNT Series championship. Congratulations, Wes Shire, on a championship and a big race win here in feature number 2.
Yeah, thanks. That was quite a bit of work for both of those.
Yeah, especially in the second race. You were kind of following Kevin through on the restarts. What did you see when Kevin, Jason, and Simon had that incident ahead of you?
That was actually behind me. I'm just taking a look at it right now on the replay. It looks like just a net code between Simon and Kevin by like 1.5 feet, 2 feet. That's just really unlucky.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. I didn't even realize you had come past them at that point. Then you get to the end of the race and you're going to fight with James for the win late in this one. You've had your fair share of fun here this evening.
Oh man, that last few laps with James was fantastic. Like, was it like 1 lap to go? We 0x across the line. He like tapped me in the right rear, about turned me in the outside wall. That was exciting to say the least.
Well, a fantastic run for you, and you got a ton of sponsors on the side of the car here, and let's make sure we get the plugs in here. I'm fairly certain we can call you the champ here. That one's got to feel pretty special too, because there's a ton of talent in this league.
Yeah, that's just mind-blowing to me. Like, coming into this, I really didn't think I'd have a shot at the win for the championship. Like, maybe top 5. But, oh man, just...
And let's let's not neglect to tell the viewers here that you were also potentially not even running this race tonight.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. The last 24 hours have been just a mess of me trying to get my computer to actually function again. Bricked one, had to pretty much reset everything about my Oculus Rift on the other, swapping parts between them, trying to cobble something together. I mean, it was last minute thing. I mean, I got this thing together hour and a half before the race, maybe.
That's impressive. Crew burning the midnight oil to get that number 16
yeah.
machine ready to go here. So who do you want to thank, since you got the names plastered all over the car, and get all the good plugs in?
Yeah, well, as always, got to thank you for the broadcast, Jason, for putting this all on. Carolina SimWorks, paying the bills. And of course, Homestead Coffee, keeping me awake and alert enough. Apparently, it's good enough to power a champion show. Should be good enough for everybody else out there. And new one this week. I got to actually plug myself over on my other life. Coming up here in a couple of weeks, probably 2 or 3. Take a look on YouTube for Tales from Rukon if you're into Dungeons and Dragons. We'll be doing a little, well, I say little, very, very custom world in which the DM has been in the world for almost 20 years now. Whole thing is fully made by him. We have all our own music we're writing. Everything is absolutely custom. Should be streaming that live on YouTube probably Friday evenings, somewhere around 7 o'clock Eastern.
Well, there you go. Congratulations on getting the new project off the ground. And I tell you what, we may have to send some of this stuff to the fine folks from Homestead Coffee, and maybe put some free rocket fuel in the coffee pot over there at the workplace and in the race shop. So congratulations once again on the championship, Wes, and we're looking forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah, thanks. Looking forward to next week.
So there you go. There's Wes Shire, your winner in race number 2 and your 2021 Season 2 champion in the Carolina SimWorks TNT Series. With that, we're going to wrap things up here this evening from Phoenix Raceway. Absolutely fantastic doubleheader night of racing. This one was a ton of fun to call, and we're going to do it all again next week, one final time here in Season 2 out at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Again, just another absolutely perfect racetrack for these cars. Coming up tomorrow night on the National Racing Network, 8 p.m. in the East, you do not want to miss the High Side Hustle. Fantastic interview. The guys pre-recorded with Tim Clausen, the co-owner of Clausen Marshall Racing. His driver, Tyler Courtney, coming home $175,000 richer following Kings Royal number 38 this past weekend at the Eldora Speedway. Telling a lot of stories going back through the history of the race team and where it all began with Brian Clausen, the late, great Brian Clausen, one of the best to ever sit in an open-wheel dirt car. And that conversation turned out pretty darn special. Don't want to miss that one tomorrow night, 8 p.m. in the East. Thursday night, we will have the Ezra Grid Rival IndyCar Series, followed up by the Indy Pro 2000 Championship for their week number 6 festivities. And I don't think we have any real-world racing this Friday night because Linda Speedway is running on Thursday as part of Hyper Racing 600 Speed Week. Who knows? Maybe we'll throw something together from Snydersville Raceway or something like that. We'll see. Coming up on Saturday, you don't want to miss it, the TNT Special Event Series, Briss Mons, a 3-hour team endurance racing event from Bristol Motor Speedway. 4 completely different race cars than what we've ever seen run together before. Street stocks, tour modifieds, the NASCAR car of tomorrow, and a super late model. The super late model will likely be the fastest car on the racetrack by a wide margin and crazy fast compared to the street stock. And oh, by the way, they're going to do a Le Mans style start too, where they're going to line everybody up parked on the front straightaway, and it's going to be a bum rush into turn number 1. You do not want to miss that one. But with that, we're going to wrap things up here. Another night of fantastic racing here on the National Racing Network. Congratulations to our winners this evening, Ryan Sellers in the sprint cars, Jason Owens and Wes Shire here in the PM-18s. But for everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. It's been a pleasure to have you with us this evening. We will talk to you tomorrow night with a High Side Hustle. Have a great night, everybody.